Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the law of assumption and why it's so powerful and why it works so well when it comes to manifesting and attracting things that you want. Now, the law of assumption is extremely simple. It's basically in the name. It just states that whatever you assume will happen will happen. So very simple, very basic idea, but why is it so powerful and why does it work so well and so quickly? That's what I'm going to talk about today. And guys, we're trying to hit 3,000 subscribers on this channel, so if you're new, make sure that you subscribe. Okay, I'm going to hop into the video, but before I do, don't forget to hit the like button, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, so to explain the law of assumption, I'm going to use a little example. Let's say you have two friends. One who goes through life assuming that everything is going to go wrong and that like the world is out to get him or her. And this person just always assumes the worst from people and situations. Then what ends up happening most of the time is that they get exactly what they assume will happen, all of the bad things. And then that's just gonna reaffirm their belief that the world's out to get them and that things never work out and all of these negative things. And then they just go through life experiencing that over and over again, and then they continue to just assume that over and over again. So it ends up being this like vicious cycle. Whereas if you have a friend who's very positive and very kind and expects the best from people and always give people like the benefit of the doubt and always like expect the best out of situations and out of people, what ends up happening is that person usually experiences a much happier, positive life, because then they're going to go through life and whenever good things happen, they're gonna just use that to reinforce their belief that good things always happen to them, that the universe has their back. And overall, these two people are gonna live very different lives because of what they expect and what they assume will happen. Sometimes when you expect the worst from people, it can actually like bring out the worst in people, versus when you expect the best from people and you treat them that way, then it can actually bring out the best in them. It's kind of like, I know that there are studies out there that say that if you tell young kids that they're smart versus if you tell them that they're not good at a certain subject, then what actually happens is they will start to believe that, and then they will either work really hard at that subject so that they get good grades and do well and reinforce that belief that you instilled in them that they're good at that subject. Or if you tell them that they're bad at that subject, what's going to happen is they're going to slack off, and if they get stuck, they're not going to try hard to like understand the concepts. And what actually ends up happening is they actually do become bad at that subject. So it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy almost. And now I'm going to talk about like this in the context of the law of attraction and manifestation and like why it's so powerful and why it's so important. Basically, the idea is that when you want to manifest something, when you want to attract something, what you're actually vibrating is that the idea that you don't have it and that you want it. Because when you want something, that means that you don't already have it. And so what happens is you end up vibrating like lacking vibrations, if that makes sense. And you're like, oh, I don't have it. That's why I want it. That's why I desire it, because I don't already have it in my life. Versus the law of assumption, where you assume that what you want is already on its way to you. And you assume that it's already done. And when you assume that it's already done, then you're not worried about it. Right? You can actually let go, which is a very important part of manifestation, is letting go. And when you let go, you're able to just like live your life and enjoy your life. And when you believe and assume that it's already done, that you already have what you want, then you start acting as if you are someone who already has that thing. And because of that, you're acting as if, and you're getting yourself into the vibration of someone who already has it, versus being in the vibration of someone who doesn't have it, who's lacking, who lacks it, who's trying to create it or manifest it. So when you're using the law of assumption, it can just make you vibrate at a much higher frequency, but more importantly, it's going to make you vibrate at the exact frequency of the thing that you want to attract. Because letting go and acting as if is essentially very important and powerful techniques, and with the law of assumption, you essentially use both without even knowing it. And I like to use the example of something small. It's like if you go to a coffee shop and you place an order, you don't like wonder if it's gonna happen, right? You don't wonder, oh, like, are they actually gonna make my drink? Like, oh, am I actually gonna get my drink today? Oh, is it coming today? Like, is it coming in a few minutes or 30 seconds? Like, what's gonna happen? Is it actually gonna happen? Are they out of stock? You don't have all of those thoughts generally. Usually you go, you place your order, and you're like, okay, it's done. I placed my order, it's done. Or maybe you place an order on your phone on the app and you're like, okay, it's done. It'll be there when I get there. It'll be there when it's done, you know? And you just assume that it's gonna happen because when it comes to small thing, it's very easy for us to not question it, right? Like if you want to manifest a free drink, it's so easy to manifest for most people because there's not that like intense desire, that intense like, oh my god, what if? Like, is it gonna work? It's just like, oh yeah, I want a free drink. And then it happens so easily because it was easy for you. Like you didn't put so much thought and weight behind it that you like block the manifestation because you're just like, yeah, if it happens, it happens, whatever. And basically you detach from the outcome, and it's very easy for you to do that. Well, it's the same thing when you want to manifest big things. If you assume that it's already done, that it's already on its way to you, and that it's gonna happen in divine timing, then you could really truly detach and not worry about it and not obsess about it. And all of that just makes it come to you so much faster. Obviously, when it comes to the law of assumption, it can be difficult sometimes because, you know, if you go through life and you expect negative things to happen all the time, or you expect the worst from people all the time, you weren't born that way. And it's probably certain experiences that maybe reinforce certain negative beliefs that kind of made you that way in the long run. But I think it's important to realize that beliefs aren't, again, they're not something you're born with. It's just something that you picked up along the way, which means that you can change your belief system. And I did make a whole video about that, so if you want to check that out, I'll link it somewhere. But the person who wrote about the law of assumption originally actually also wrote that it's very important to assume the best in every possibility and the best in every person and every outcome, even if there's no physical evidence that that's going to happen, or even if you've had negative experiences in the past. And again, it goes back to the idea that when you expect the best from people or situations, a lot of the times it ends up happening because you approach it with a different mindset. Like if you approach life with a positive mindset, you expect really good things from people, you generally are going to have a better experience and you're going to be a happier person and have a better life. But if you go through life expecting the worst from people and the most like negative experiences, then essentially what's going to happen is you're going to have a mindset that's going to attract that. And then it's going to happen and it's going to become like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then it just becomes like a vicious cycle. So yes, definitely use the law of assumption to your benefit by expecting the best out of people and situations and outcomes. Okay, that's it for today's little video. I hope you liked it. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next, and I will see you next time. Bye!